We are quickly approaching the start of the NBA season. They are already playing the first initial preseason games overseas. I saw they did one in Dubai the other day. I don't know where the other locations are, but who cares? The Guardians unfortunately lost, so that means in Cleveland we are shifting gears from baseball to basketball. Football was over before it even started. Really, this Cavs team is the only real thing to be optimistic about right now as a Cleveland sports fan. And I know we say it every year, it feels like Cleveland is cursed. It always will be the same result. So I'm going to try my hardest to not buy into all the hope factor because I know the result. But if we look at things from a practical standpoint and put all our frustrations and PTSD to the side, the East is wide open this year. Tyrese Haliburton is out for the year. Jayson Tatum is out for the year. 2025 and 26 is Cleveland's year to get things done. The path is straightforward. It's time for this team to reload and get it done. The regular season will be fun to watch. It will get us through the winter. But this time around, I'm not buying into any of the regular season hype with my heart. Obviously, I'll still report it and talk about it, but we know this is a 60-win team. Now we got to see it in the playoffs. And there are a few different keys or must-dos for the Cavs this season in order for them to finally get to their ultimate goal. We all know Donovan Mitchell is going to show up, but I need to see some things from a few other players before I can fully trust that this team is capable of going all the way. But nonetheless, it is an exciting time of the year. We just had media day, so I'm going to show you what some of the players had to say and so much more. But first, before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 60,000 subscribers, and with your support, I believe that we can get there super fast. Alright, so the first player I do want to talk about is Donovan Mitchell. Obviously, we know what to expect at this point. I know some people were talking MVP this year. I don't think he's ever going to get there with the stats that guys like Joker are putting up. But honestly, if Mitch is the MVP, that would be bad for this team. That would mean that Evan Mobley did not ascend into a true top 10 to top 5 player in the league. I know he was ranked like 12th this year, but I'm talking about like truly becoming one of those guys. But that's besides the point. Donovan talked about coming into this season prepared. He said if you come into camp 10 pounds overweight, then you don't set a good tone. Here was more of what he said a few days ago at Media Day.
What I said is, I think the biggest thing is just understand that we just got to keep going. Sorry I gave you the political answer, but like that's really all I got. It's like we just got to keep going and be ready for what the season brings. I think it's a bigger discussion. I think, in a league that encourages if you can score, you find your way on the floor, we'll figure the rest out. I think that's just what that is. There's not many guys in the league that are just, hey, I'm a shutdown defender. That's what makes Lonzo special. I think that's what makes Evan special. I mean, obviously he can do both, but not to say Lonzo can't, but Evan's, obviously 7 feet and doing that is different. But I think it's just something that it's a mindset, and I respect the hell out of Lonzo for having that mindset while also being a competitor that he is on the offensive end. So I'm glad he's on our side now, doing all the stuff that he does defensively for sure.
Alright, so now getting into my 5 keys to becoming a championship contender. The first is a big one and also obvious. It's health. The Cavs were pretty lucky all of last season with staying on the court, but then we get to postseason time. Garland, like he always does, gets hit with some fluke toe injury, which pretty much takes him out of the equation. Evan Mobley was also hurt, and all of that led to Donovan Mitchell playing through pain because he had to do it all. And that Pacers series was just so physical. It was ridiculous what they were allowed to do. I'm really starting to learn the vast difference between regular season and postseason basketball. It's barely even the same sport. The way it's set up kind of favors the less talented team in a way. Again, I'm not making excuses. The Cavs' softness is why they have lost these last few years. But again, the East is wide open, so stay healthy for the playoffs. If the core 4 is all above 90%, I think this team will be in a great spot. The next key is Evan Mobley. Now look, Mobley did take the step last year. He really did, and I'm not ignoring that. But I kind of viewed it as an initial step. After his rookie season, I really felt he had it in him to become one of the best players in the league, and I think this is the season where he gets there. I really think it's a mindset thing. There were games last year where he took over and it was like, whoa, this is a brand new player. But then there were still those times where he laid low and did not attack offensively. This season, from game 1, from opening tip, I want him to be a 23-11 guy and also averaging over 2 blocks. That's the type of player I think he is capable of being. I think he could be very similar to prime Pelicans Anthony Davis, and if the Cavs want to truly ascend and win it all, he needs to be the number one option. He needs to continue to develop as a shooter. He was much better last season, and if he can do that, and Donovan Mitchell can be the 2 option and take over only when he has to, that just transforms this team. Because then all of a sudden, whatever Garland, Allen, and Hunter bring you are just added bonuses. That's when this team truly gets scary. And I know Donovan didn't mean this literally, but he said Garland's injury to start the season could be good for Mobley because he will get more touches and he can set the tone for himself for the season. I want the ball in his hands nearly just as much as the guards. This is Evan Mobley's season. I can feel it. Next up, this is an interesting one, but I think the addition of Lonzo Ball completely changes the dynamic of the Cavalier backcourt. Size issues have been a big problem in the postseason. Donovan Mitchell has played his heart out, but ultimately, having 2 small guards has clearly not been a recipe for success. But now with Lonzo, assuming he can stay healthy, he can stay on the court, he could come in and play 20 minutes a game, 10 rotating in with Garland, 10 with Mitchell. I think offensively Mitchell and Garland are a good duo, but their defense really makes it tough to play them together in the playoffs. Again, Mitchell is actually a good defender. He really is. He is always jumping passing lanes, anticipating and orchestrating, but it's just the size. Lonzo has small forward height, but is a defensive point guard. I think he really can just make this thing work. But again, it's all dependent on health because he has to be out there for it too. Alright, so that leaves us with 2 more points, 2 more keys for the Cavs to become real contenders, and this next one was an easy one for me to come up with. Let's face it, if the Cavs want to win a championship, Darius Garland has to toughen up. He has to be ready for the postseason. Again, I'm not saying he hasn't been injured, and credit to him, he's tried to play through those injuries. The dude takes blows left and right and is super unlucky. But at the end of the day, I'm looking at this situation like a 2K rebuild. He's on a supermax deal, the Cavs are paying him to perform, they're paying him to step up and be one of their leaders, and he is never there when you need him the most, and even when he is, he's a shell of himself. Really what Cleveland needs him the most for is to take the ball handling pressure away from Donovan. We need Donovan to be able to focus on scoring while Garland takes command of the offense. But if Darius is a ghost in the playoffs, Mitchell has to pretty much do everything offensively, especially last season when Ty Jerome forgot how to play basketball. Again, the East is wide open. Tyrese Haliburton and Jayson Tatum are out. Damian Lillard left the Bucks. He's in Portland now. He is too old anyways to do anything. Outside of New York, there is absolutely nobody in the Cavs' way. Now it's about getting it done when the lights are the brightest, something the Cavs have not yet proven they can do. Now for the last key I want to talk about in this video. Obviously it's not the last key there is. I could think of at least 300, but it's how the Cavs decide to use DeAndre Hunter. I know he will start initially because of the injury to Max Strus, but Atkinson seems to really like Strus, which I don't dislike him personally. It's not like that at all. But I was shocked at how underused Hunter was in the playoffs, and honestly, he did not attack much. In Atlanta, he was a 20 points per game guy. Obviously, when he came over to Cleveland, you knew that would drop because of the usage, but it almost felt like Hunter was trying not to mess things up because of how good this team was playing when they traded for him. But that's not why the Cavs ultimately went out and got him. They need the full services of DeAndre Hunter. He needs to play fearless. When he has a shot, he needs to take it. He needs to attack defenses. I completely understand why he played the way he did, because I probably would have done the same. He did not want to mess up the chemistry. But in the playoffs, when buckets were tough to come by against Indiana, I wish he attacked more offensively, but overall, he was a very solid addition, and I hope he sees a lot of opportunity this year. So yeah, those are my top 5 keys off the dome for this coming season. We are getting closer and closer to Cavs basketball. I cannot wait. This team is going to make the winter months fly by. Let me know your predictions in the comments below. If you enjoyed this one and haven't yet, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe because your support truly means the world. And let me know what you would like to see next. And until then, I will see you all later.